Well, like I actually thought this was really cool. And it's moments like these in which I am like I actually feel proud to be an American, even though I think national pride is kind of stupid since it's not an accomplishment unless you're an immigrant. But
I mean, sure, like it's natural to feel a kind of pride toward
I feel pride
natural.
in my country, not
It's
proud to be
like
an American. But
it's natural to feel certain senses of community and kin and everything. I mean, that's evolutionarily programmed within us.
yeah. One of the times in which I felt real pride in my country was when Mondaire Jones, an openly gay black man, won the Democratic primary in New York's 17th district against a like a trust fund kid, pretty much like
Nice.
fully backed by the Democratic
And,
establishment.
and when was this?
This was back in the New York primaries in late June.
Oh, nice.
It,
This was
it,
really
it,
recently. Cool.
yeah, it was along with the Virginia primaries. But
Awesome.
yeah, it's moments like that in which I really feel pride in my country. But that
But
kind of
also
moment happened.
you also have to remember how fucking far behind other countries we are.
Yeah,
But we are further ahead of more than we are behind, so I don't know, whatever.
yeah. Like one of the latest moments to make me really feel pride in my country is after Trump had his yeah, Proud Boys stand back and stand by moment. Uh, the LGBT community took over
Oh
the
yes.
hashtag
That
Proud
was
Boys
so
on
good.
Twitter,
That was
and
so funny. They
they
did it
like
on Instagram too.
yeah, and like Kyle Kalinske talked about this, and he said, like it was funny because when the Proud Boys were first founded, he think that sounds like an LGBT group.
Yeah, you thought that it sounded kind of gay. Yeah, that was.
Yeah, and also especially funny considering the fact that Gavin McInnes one time shoved a dildo on his ass, like up his ass, on his show one time to prove that he wasn't afraid of gay people. Uh, like
Huh?
like it
What?
was like back in 2018, Gavin McGinnis was like wanted to like quell accusations that he was afraid of gay people, so he shoved a dildo up his ass to try
That
to
is the
prove that he
most
wasn't.
fucking. That is the most roundabout, nonsensical shit I've ever heard.
Yeah,
What? What?
the LGBTQ community took over the Proud Boys hashtag, and and that's really cool.
I can't even think of an analogy.
Showing off love
How
instead of hate.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of an analogy for how ridiculous that is.
I don't know.
What?
It's probably better that we don't dwell on that too
Like,
much.
holy fuck. Like, what?
No, let's move on from this.
I can't even. I did not know he did that.
I don't know. What is a moment in which you felt very proud to be American? Like act like you actually felt pride in your country. And I'm assuming like the kind of person you are, those moments are even rarer for you than for me.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is when Obama was elected and I was like 7. Uh,
Yeah. I like the
was,
thing is I
that
was
was just
so
more, that was more just like I felt like I was a part of history in that moment. Like it felt
yeah.
real that we had a black president finally.
Well, like I had no idea. Like I was very like I mean like I'm only a year younger than you, so it's like I was not aware of the fact that Obama was like the first black president until a couple years later.
No,
Like I didn't really.
I was hyper aware of it because I lived in Texas and because everyone around me hated Obama. So I
Yeah,
was hyper aware of the fact that he was black and that it would be a pretty historical moment where he elected.
yeah.
Trying to think of other things.
But yeah. I lived in a split household. I mean, my dad actually likes Obama, and he liked Obama then, but he just like preferred McCain. Like he voted for Obama in 2012. And my mom has always been very liberal. But like she was kind of like the liberal that I used to be, where it's like I agree with like the far left position. I just don't think it's very like viable like to
Oh, I
like
see.
to winning or whatever. Like I
Yeah.
agree with Bernie, he's just not electable. I used to be that kind of person.
Hmm.
But yeah, because like she voted for Bernie in 2016 in the 2016 primary, and she didn't vote in the 2020 primary for some reason. I mean, like she drove me to the polls so I could vote,
Oh,
but
weird.
she ended up not going in. I think like her foot was hurting, so she didn't really feel like getting out. But like she supported Pete Buttigieg
Democracy in
my
action.
behalf. I don't remember why she ended up
I'm
not
trying to,
getting out of
yeah,
there.
I've been trying to think this entire time. And I can't think of a moment where I felt pride in being American or felt proud of America or anything like
There's
that.
very few moments. I mean, I guess, like if it wasn't just if it was little more if it was any more than like, just vapid platitudes, I would have probably felt that kind of pride with the nomination of Hillary Clinton.
Oh,
That was I mean, like, yeah, it's great, like, oh, like she's the first woman to be nominated by a major party, but that was mostly like all there was to it. There wasn't really any policy substance behind her running.
yeah, yeah. So I felt little nuggets of pride and then like a big sense of pride um, whenever like whenever I would hear Bernie Sanders speak, and then when I finally voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary, I felt proud to
Yeah.
be an American in those moments.
Yeah. Even though especially with that, it is kind of tough since that was like the beginning of the end of his campaign.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
I felt very like it felt very good because like when I voted last week. I filled out my absentee ballot and I just sent it in the mail last week.
I need to fucking go vote. I keep on like doing that.
Yeah, like
I had this so I had this big Bernie Sanders poster on my wall that was in like a glass frame, and like within like my first week of being in school, and I have other stuff on the wall too, but with it this it just fell and shattered everywhere. Just and every time I think of Bernie Sanders, I think about how his campaign shattered like his poster on my wall.
yeah,
So
I feel bad
sad.
for him. But yeah, like when I voted for Joe Biden last week, like like I said, like I held my nose while doing it metaphorically. I didn't literally like
Yeah. That would make you look weird.
yeah,
People would
like
look at you odd.
it did not feel great, but like I was hoping like some good would come out of it. Whereas like when I voted for Bernie, it's like I'm voting for something I really believe in. Like this is not like a lesser of two evils thing I'm voting for.
Yeah.
Like
I've run through my head several times, like what thought process what I would have to just like on a whim decide to vote for Donald Trump instead of Joe Biden. I don't think it would ever happen. I think if I made it to the polls, I would vote for Joe Biden. But for some reason, like I don't have a car, and the only polling place in Williamsburg is like an hour walk from me. So I need my friend to drive. I don't know. I need a fucking vote, and I have no excuse not to, except that I have no car. But I fucking need to. That was all
do you
kind
not
of
have a bus
political
system?
tangential, but whatever.
Do you not have a bus system like ours in William and Mary?
Well, like we do, but there are a lot of, I mean, not as many as Charlottesville, but there are a lot of COVID cases in Williamsburg because there are a lot
Okay.
of seniors.
Yeah. Yesterday was like the first time I ever used our bus system, and that was to get to like the dumpling place I told you about.
Yeah, I've only used the bus system one time last year, so I also don't really know exactly what
Yeah.
to do. And I'm a fucking weird Gen Zer who gets fucking social anxiety when he has to get on a bus.
Yeah. I think another moment when I was actually pretty proud of being American, or proud of my country was uh, you know, June 2018 when, like I had never heard of her until then when
Oh yeah.
AOC won the nomination against Joe Crowley. I had no idea who any of these people were, but like the news, like, well, an open democratic socialist won the primary
Yes.
for, like, she beat not she didn't just win, she won against the
Like yeah.
grab bag of corruption that was Joe Crowley. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, he was like the fourth most powerful Democrat in the House, and like, wow, this is
Damn.
and I felt a very similar feeling when Cori Bush beat William Lacey Clay, who is part of a 50-year political dynasty. Like that was a real like hell yeah moment. Like it really like
Is there any relation to Henry Clay?
no.
Okay.
Or wait, may any relation would be a very
Yeah.
bad one because William Lacey Clay and his family are black.
Oh, all right.
And like back in the day, back in the days of slavery, or like as Lindsey Graham would say, back in the good old days of
Was Henry Clay? I didn't think he was part of the Great Triumvirate, right? I didn't think he was for slavery. Maybe he was.
well, like there were other people
Can't
in his
remember.
family who were for slavery,
No,
and
maybe he was. I don't know.
I
Apparently,
don't know.
apparently, I'm a descendant of Henry Clay. That's what my family tells me. I
Oh,
don't know.
me too.
Interesting.
Well,
Um,
like not a direct descendant, but I'm related to the Clay family somehow. It's like, but
I don't know. The words I heard were direct descendant, but I have no idea if that's true.
I
No
think it's
evidence
cool
whatsoever.
thinking, with the possibility that we're slightly related.
I don't know. We're both fucking like white British looking people.
Yeah, like
When I was just thinking of like American Pride moments, uh, in 2015 when the Supreme Court made gay marriage legal, that was a good moment.
yeah. Well, like I think like if I knew that my older brother was gay at that time, I think it would have made the moment a lot that much more sweeter. But yeah,
I
um,
was in denial about my sexuality for a long time because I lived in Texas, but I always like felt a really deep connection to the gay rights movement. I guess because I guess yeah, I guess it's obvious why. So when that happened, although I wasn't totally out of the closet, like I had this sense that something really important had happened for me.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, like yeah, I think it's cool. It's good to have these conversations about like occasional moments in which we
Mhm.
actually think that our nation might be headed in a good direction because especially now since like everything's gone tits up around here.